Better technique on any lift, on every single exercise in the game. Better technique instantly. When you do this, and it's funny that this has been such a profound element of my training. This has had such a profound effect on my quality of movement, on gauging progress, on having true, honest, objective metrics on progress. And yet this modality, this style is like almost under attack in the hypertrophy community anyway. People are saying, look, well, let me let me say what it is first before I go into why people are hating on it. It's controlling the descent, what people have been promoting for decades, controlling the negative. And then what I like to do, pausing in the bottom, and then aggressively, but still controlling it on the way up. I do this on literally every single exercise. At first, it was pausing the bench press, just because that's like the powerlifting way to bench. I personally find it to be safer. It always just felt better to me. So I've pretty much always done pause on my bench press. Touch and go, I would actually do less reps with the same way. Like I will be stronger with pause bench because I'm so freaking locked into that timing and that rhythm. And then I start doing exclusively pause squats. I go, that feels way better too. My foot pressure, it's so much more manageable. It's so easy to detect. Am I in the midfoot? Am I getting in the toes? Because what that pause ultimately does is it highlights if you're in a funky spot. If you're just, if you're just dive bombing your squats and coming back up, you might be freaking all over the place. Whereas if you air, squeeze the abs, brace, tongue is pressing the roof of the mouth, guide it, and then you pause in the bottom, you'll be able, it will tell you, you'll feel it if, I'm more on the toes. So not only am I leaving hamstring and glute gains on the table, but I'm not going to be able to produce as much force as if I was perfectly freaking Jedi mode in my midfoot. And then that next rep, okay, that just means I need to move a few degrees back. Oh, that rep felt supreme. That rep felt magnificent. I was so much stronger. I freaking drove my upper back into the bar like never before. Rep 3, rep 4, rep 5, back in the toes again. No good. And then I start pausing my curls, pausing my tricep movements, pausing my freaking super arm lateral raises. I literally pause every single exercise that I do with the exception of deadlifts because it starts from that dead stop at the bottom, so that's a little different. Pause deadlift is like kind of a different technique with different functions, different purposes. So on every single exercise, I promise you, you will have better technique. You will have more mastery of that movement if you have a very controlled, deliberate negative, pause at the bottom for 1 second, and then aggressively, but still control it on the way up. And I have a few analogies that really help me kind of connect to this rhythm. I just think of like a bow and arrow. The negative, pulling back, not going Legolas mode, right? Pulling back on an even cadence, holding it, release that motherfucker. Freaking send it with glorious aggression, and still you're feeling it in the target muscle where you want to feel it. You can tell it's not janky and knocking you out of place. And then you get that air. And then you flex your abs, you press your tongue in the roof of the mouth, and you do it again. You do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. This gave me more mastery in the weight room in 1 year than I had gotten in the last like 3 to 4 to 5 years. That's real. Better technique, more confidence. A lot of people struggle with being confident in the gym if they're kind of a noob or a beginner. Nothing is going to instill more confidence in you as a lifter If every freaking exercise in your arsenal, you're like, dude, I got this shit. I got this shit. On the way down, I feel every single muscle fiber that I want to be feeling, engaging, recruiting, getting ready. And then I hit that pause, and then I send it. Another analogy besides the bow and arrow, I like to think about I'm pushing down on a spring, releasing. I'm pushing down on a spring, releasing. And even that, I wouldn't go fast and then down and then up, or fast and then slow, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, lifting is very, I was a musician for 10 years before I really got as deep into lifting and training as I am now. It very much has like some musical elements, some rhythmical elements. It's like a dance. It really is. And if you can just master the timing. Remember this. Next time you're working out, I don't care what exercise it is. Timing. If you can master that descent, that negative, get a nice pause at the bottom, and then master that movement on the way up, you're going to be a more confident lifter. And look, this is all besides the fact that, well, I guess not the fact, because that's why it's like a debated thing, but a lot of people think that pausing in the stretch position induces more hypertrophy. So even besides the better technique, it very well could be better for muscle gain. And that's why in the beginning of the video I was saying this idea is kind of getting mocked and getting rejected and saying, no. It's all about the concentric. The eccentric doesn't do diddly past the newbie phase. Those stretch-mediated hypertrophy gains don't exist past a certain point. Even if that is 100% true, I would still train the way I do because of all the other reasons I just highlighted. But let's say it's better for muscle gain. Let's say it is. And it's better for technique. And it's way safer, which I firmly believe it is, because like doing those touch and go type movements, those dive bomb type movements, if I do that, I'm going to feel it more in the joints and less in the muscular system. If I control it, guide it, pause it, press it, I'm going to feel it more in the muscular system and less in my joints. That sounds very positive. That alone is reason enough to do it, in my opinion. And mind-muscle connection, that's another thing that's kind of mocked these days. If I can bench press, guide it, feel my pecs getting stretched, and feel that my pecs, delts, and triceps are perfectly in sync, evenly loaded, they're all contributing to that movement on the way up. If I can feel that, versus clunk, shoulder comes out of place, clunk, elbow jumps out, clunk. I mean, it's not that hard of a sell, in my opinion. It's just better. And better is always better. One of my favorite mantras, better is always better. Better cannot be simultaneously worse. So better is always better. I believe controlling the negative, owning it at the bottom, and aggressively but controlling it on the way up is your best bet for gaining mastery over every single exercise in the game. This is how you become a more confident lifter, a more competent lifter. This is how we lift safely and can still get after it. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I'll see you in the next one.